Hi, I'm John DeTroy, Senior Consulting Engineer with Apple. Today we are going to look at advanced techniques for creating custom images. In the previous tutorial, I showed you the tools to create basic NetBoot, NetInstall, and NetRestore images. What makes this solution so powerful is the customization we can do to the basic image sets. Now we're going to use System Image Utility and set up a couple of complex workflows. The idea of using workflows is to allow you to add automated tasks to the installation process and to add additional components to the disk image. We're also going to create multicast images which allow us to perform mass imaging for large-scale deployments. A key point to remember: in order to create the best installer set, you need to work from the latest reference build of macOS 10. That is the newest full client installer, not the install disks that came with a specific Mac. Using an installer set will ensure that all of the right parts are in place and the client will always get the correct components. Let's look at the customization capabilities now. Launching System Image Utility, we can create two different custom image sets. The first uses our CoreOS install DVD and adds to it. The second enhances the NetRestore set with the option of selecting multicast images. I'll select the macOS 10 install DVD, choose NetInstall image, then click the Customize button. After reviewing and agreeing to the legal agreement, you'll see the new interface. It includes a couple of actions as well as the entire automator library for the System Image Utility. By using these actions, we can enhance the installation set significantly. For example, let's set the name of the volume of the client after imaging to Snow Leopard HD and change the network disk and image name to Custom NetInstall. Then we'll alter the basic installation set by adding two new actions. Selecting Add Packages and Post-Install Scripts allows me to add other items to the installation, such as iWork or any updates that have been posted since this reference installation DVD was released. Here I'm going to add the iWork installation package. Selecting Customize Package Selection lets us change the items available through installation. Look at the window and you can see that now I can turn off items that weren't needed by my users in this image, such as print drivers and fonts. I can also automate this installation by adding the Enable Automated Installation action. With the install automated, you need only boot the client to the installer image and the process will run itself. Be careful with this one. You could end up going from an unattended install to an unintended install. Before we run this process, we'll save our workflow. This lets us return to it later on and make any changes or corrections we see a need for. Now we'll run this process and let it create our image set. We'll go ahead and stop this and use our pre-created image sets. The workflow we created does not contain any image content. It is just a set of defined actions to be followed when creating the NetInstall image. Next, we're going to create a custom NetRestore set that can be used with macOS 10 Multicast ASR or Apple Software Restore. This technology lets you store images on the network and have a server broadcast the image in a sequential set of blocks. Multicast ASR starts with block 1 of a disk image and continues until it reaches the last block of the image, then it starts all over again. A client looking for the image can jump into the sequence at any point, grabbing the image blocks until all are accounted for. Then the client reorders the blocks correctly and reboots as a new clone of the original image. The biggest benefit of this process is that dozens, even hundreds of client systems can grab blocks off the network at the same time out of order. They will continue to capture the parts of the image until they are done, reorder them, then reboot as newly cloned systems. Since this technology is built into macOS 10, there is no cost involved in using it to image your Mac clients as long as you own a license for the OS for each system you will be installing. Let's look at the process needed to create and activate NetRestore using Multicast ASR, starting with System Image Utility. In System Image Utility, we select the macOS 10 install disk, then we select NetRestore and Customize. We'll review and agree to the license agreement. Now we're going to go in and delete the Define Image Source action, and we're going to add the Define Net Restore source. You can fill in the URLs of any disk images you have stored online and turn on the option to browse for any additional images. In this case, we're going to look for the ASR image we created in the basic image session. Then we'll fill in the other fields and create our Net Restore image. So I'm going to name this image Net Restore Master, and it'll show up on the network as Network Disk Net Restore Master also. We're going to cancel this because I've already created the image, and we'll quit from System Image Utility. One advantage of multicast ASR is that you can store disk images that have been prepped for multicast on file servers or web servers and just point to them with a URL. The multicasting server does not need to be the location where the images reside, so you can distribute the workload across your network. If you have several servers in place for such tasks as manage client, podcasting, and directory services, when it comes time to re-image your Mac clients, you can easily turn these systems into your imaging farm. Now that we have set up the Net Restore Master, we need to activate Apple Software Restore, or ASR, at the server where the image is being served. We'll do that through Terminal using the following steps. Let's connect to the server using remote login. I'm authenticating to the server. Now we create an ASR configuration file. These are sample values, and you should always check with your network admin to see if they are safe to use on your network. If you're not sure of what values to use, open a new terminal window and type man ASR to review all of the possible settings. Finally, we activate the ASR process by pointing it at the image we created and stored on the server. In this case, I stored the image we created and scanned for restore earlier on the server in a folder called ASR Sets. As you can see, this activates the multicast ASR process, and it will run until it is turned off. Now we'll complete the entire imaging process by activating the NetBoot process on our server and looking at the results of our efforts. In order to do that, I need to run server admin, so let's do that. First, I'll hide Terminal and launch server admin. Connected to our server, we can select the NetBoot service and change our settings to allow us to see our newly created NetBoot images and to make them visible on the network. And here are the images that we just created, the custom net install and Net Restore Master. We start with enabling NetBoot on the Ethernet port, then select where the images reside. In the Images section of Settings, you can see all the NetBoot images we did add to the server. They're all stored inside a special folder that was created when we set up NetBoot for the first time. Now that all this is set up and activated, let's look at how these images appear within the Startup Disk System Preference. We'll hide Server Admin, and in System Preferences, go to Startup Disk, and now you'll see all of the network images that we have created. There's the Net Repair image, the Custom Net Install, the Basic Net Install image, the Net Restore Master, and the Net Restore of Mac Client, covering both the basic and advanced tutorials that we've talked about. In this tutorial, we have discussed advanced macOS X server Snow Leopard imaging options, including Net Install and Net Restore with multicast Apple Software Restore. For more information, I suggest you have a look at the official server manuals available on apple.com, as well as the Apple Training Series Manual on macOS X deployment. Thank you for watching.